Hello all, my name is Mekhala Vashit Reddy, pursuing my BTech at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today we are going to be talking about climate change impacts on rainfed maize yields in Zambia. So, if you don't know, Zambia is a country in Africa which basically which is basically near to Sahara Desert. So you might be imagining the rainfall condition there. So before discussing about the topic, let me introduce about the basic foundation of what we are going to be talking today, and a basic intro about the climatic changes in various areas like Zambia. So yeah, without further ado, let me introduce this topic to you. So the importance of maize in Zambia can't be overstated, as it represents both primary food source and a critical economic crop that supports the livelihood of millions of smallholders. Uh, Climate change is expected to exacerbate existing challenges in maize production, particularly in agriculture system that heavily relies on rain-fed farming. Farmers are facing increasingly unpredictable weather patterns, including more frequent droughts and intense rainfall events, which are directly affecting maize yields. By addressing nutrient management, which includes practicing practices such as soil testing and application of fertilizers, there is a potential to minimize these yield gaps. Additionally, implementing optimized crop management practices such as diversifying um, maize varieties, improving irrigation systems, and adopting climate smart agriculture techniques can help enhance resilience against climate impacts, ensuring food security and economic stability for region. So today we are going to be discussing about an overview of maize production in Zambia, climate change scenarios, impact of climate change on maize yields, optimizing crop management, regional variations and recommendation, benefits of adaptation strategies, future research and policy implications. Okay. The resilience of maize as a stable crop makes it integral to the diets of Zambians, with over 70% of population consuming it as primary source of carbohydrates. Maize contributes significantly to Zambia's GDP, accounting for a large portion of agriculture sector and providing employment and opportunity in cultivation, processing, and trading. Most maize farms in Zambia is done by smallholder farmers who often have limited access to resources, technology, and information needed for optimizing yield gaps, partially due to inadequate nutrient management practices, where many farmers do not apply sufficient or appropriate fertilizers, leading to poor soil fertility. The seasonality of rainfall creates vulnerability in maize production. Years of erratic weather can drastically affect planting and harvesting times, impacting total output. Efforts to address these yield gaps include government initiatives to provide farmers support services, agricultural support services, education on best practices, and promotion of climate changing maize varieties. Climate changing scenarios. Climate changing scenarios utilizes RCP 4.5 and RCP 8.5 scenarios to model future impacts. Projected increases in service temperatures and changes in participation patterns. Assessment period include near future 2035 to 2066 and far future 2065 to 2096. Researchers indicate that climate change will alter growing conditions, leading to reduced growing season for maize, which could further exacerbate yield declines as crops may not reach maturity. Higher temperatures can lead to high heat stress during critical growth stages of maize, adversely affecting pollination and kernel formation, ultimately reducing yield production potential. Changes in precipitation patterns are not only lead to drought condition but also impact the availability of water resources for irrigation, further straining production in rainfed systems. Extreme weather events, uh, including storms and floods, can result in soil erosion and degradation. Maize pests and diseases may become more relevant as a result of changing climate conditions, leading to increased crop loss and compounding the issue related to yield decline. So this is the uh, chart which is being given by meteorologists about magnitude and longitude of how often the rain, sh- how what is the probability of rainfall in Zambia, where at RCP for infrared rate, uh, you can see the graphs plotted here, optimizing planting dates and variety selections can migrate yield declines by 6 to 29%. Contrast between conventional management and optimized approaches. Uh, Improvement in nutrient management is essential for increasing maize production. Farmers in western and southern Zambia are particularly vulnerable to drought conditions, making the use of drought-tolerant maize variants essentially for maintaining yields and ensuring food security. Drought-tolerant varieties not only survive under water-stressed conditions but also have been bred to maintain higher yields compared to traditional varieties when rainfall is insufficient. Focusing on nutrient efficient fertilizers can help maximize maize production, allowing farmers to achieve better yields with less uh, input, thus lowering costs and reducing environmental impact. Early maturing cultivars are recommended for farmers in regions facing unpredictable rainfall uh, patterns, as these variants can be harvested before the onset of adverse weather conditions. Agricultural training and extension services are essential to occupy uh, farmers with knowledge needed to implement these strategies effectively and to respond to shift climate conditions. Implementing adaptation strategies not only helps maintain or increase maize yields in face of climate change, but also improve an overall resilience of farming systems to future climate shocks and stressors. Technologies such as mobile application and online platforms can provide farmers with timely information regarding weather forecasts, pest outbreaks, and best agricultural practices. Incentive Incentivizing the adoption of improved maize varieties, including providing financial support or subsidies. Adaptation strategies also encompasses soil and weather conservation techniques such as contour farming and agroforestry, which can enhance soil fertility and reduce erosion, positively impacting yields. The importance of continued research in developing climate resilient maize varieties. Policy making should be informed by localized assessments of uh, climate impacts. Holistic approaches are necessary for effectively effective agricultural management. Climate change poses a significant threat to maize yields in Zambia, but through improved agronom agronomic management and optimized cropping strategies, it is possible to mitigate these impacts and close existing yield gaps. So, for this presentation, I would uh, likely shout out the names of the references which are used in this presentation. So, these are the citations of the articles which I've used in this presentation. And yeah, thank you all guys, I hope you are doing well. Thank you for sticking with me in this presentation.